Hi everyone, we are going to make chapter markers in Premiere Pro. You can see on this video I can jump along to these different parts in the tutorial. Okay, in this particular one, okay, you can see they're named, got different time codes. We're going to show you how to export that out of Premiere Pro. First of all, what are they? All they are is notations in the description. Okay, they're pretty basic. You can see here intro, brief, name picking, and you can click on these time codes and it will jump along in this particular video here. Now, what actually makes them? Basically, let's have a look at the description. That's it. It's just, you can type these out. Okay, intro, you got to use this format. Okay, intro, and then you have to use a colon. Then you have to use the minutes and seconds. If you've got hours, you can add those too as well. But that's it. You could type these in. I'm going to show you how to export them out of Premiere Pro. We use markers. Let me go show you how to do that. So you can just type them into YouTube, but they are handy here in Premiere Pro because you can use them from markers, and markers are easy to find because often there's big cuts and you might have sectioned them up nice and easily already. So the first thing to remember is you need a marker for your sequence. Okay, so we're not doing markers down here on the clips. Remember, if you click on this clip here and say M, see that marker down there? That's not what we want. Okay, we can't export those clip markers, or at least not all of them together. You can export them separately. It's not what I want. So you want sequence markers. To add sequence markers, have nothing selected down here. Just click in no man's land and then type the M key. Okay, and they appear along the top here. You can drag and move them along, but you need one at the beginning. So no clip selected, M key, and I've got my markers panel open. You can double click on them. The thing that gets exported though is not the name, it's the comments. Okay, so we're gonna put in intro or beginning. You need something at the beginning for this to work. I got my markers panel open up here, so window markers, and you can see I've typed them all in. So I got a bunch of markers along here. To export them, again, don't have the clip selected, have nothing selected. Go up to export and go up to file and go to export and markers. If this is grayed out, it means you don't have your timeline selected. Remember that blue bar on the outside. So have that selected, markers, pick a file type. Text is probably easiest to format. If you're a whiz at something like Excel or Mac numbers, you can use CSV, doesn't matter. But text file we're gonna do in this one. I'm gonna give it a name. So this is gonna be my, I'm gonna use the output name, that's fine. So I got on my desktop, okay. This is the text document. Okay, I wish you could just copy and paste it straight into YouTube, but there's a tiny bit of formatting you need to do. And this is where you might decide, actually, it's easier just typing it in for these four. But hey, I'll show you the formatting and you can decide for yourself whether this works for your process. So I find it's good to have just a copy out of one into another document. On a Mac, I'm using TextEdit. Okay, this works for Word. If you're on a PC, you could just use Notepad or Word, doesn't matter. There's only two parts I want from this, the time code and the chapter names. So the thing we don't want from Premiere Pro is that it gives us the frames. This is the frame rate. So we've got hours, minutes, seconds, and frame rate. YouTube doesn't like frame rate, doesn't know what to do with it. So we can't use this last column here. So what we need to do is select all of this first chunk. Now, you'll notice that if you try and drag it around, it does that kind of selection. It's not what we want. An interesting kind of universal shortcut is on a Mac, hold down the Option key. On a PC, hold down the Alt key, and you can do a weird vertical like selection. It's a cool, like, I don't know. That's a tip for everything, not just Premiere Pro. So I just want this chunk excluding the frames, copy it, paste it over here, grab this chunk, holding down that same shortcut. It's Alt on PC, Option on a Mac, copy it, and after this, paste it in. You do need spaces in there. So yeah. How much easier is this? Yeah, you decide. Copy, and then you just paste it into YouTube description any old where, right at the bottom, doesn't matter. You'll notice here that the intro is before the time code and there's a colon there. That sort of formatting doesn't matter. As long as they're on the same line, okay, and the time codes need the colons in it, that'll work. Of course, with that as well, you can, if you're doing the fancy export to YouTube directly, okay, so remember we can publish this, okay, so I'm exporting. We can go down to our publish option. We can go down to our YouTube. And remember, we are able to put in the description already. So I'm going to tick this on. Boop. Okay, and under description, we can paste it in there and it will go automatically. All right, that is how to turn markers into time codes or chapter markers in YouTube. On to the next video.